Being a first time restaurant owner, the first question which comes to you is how to plan your restaurant based upon your requirement. And you come up with this first empty sheet, what to do, and you get confused. With the business and the design aesthetics, both of them should go hand in hand. Today I'm going to talk about this restaurant planning, the overall chemistry and equation of planning a successful restaurant. I'm going to talk about luxury and premium segment. So let's start from the zoning. When you are planning a restaurant, you start with the blank canvas. So start with the place where the customer will be coming from. So you have entry door, the concierge may be standing there, he'll be guiding the person, and entrance gate should be grand, should be impressive, because that is going to be the first impression. With that, there should be some waiting area, because you might see unexpected number of people which you definitely want in your restaurant. So that waiting area has to be there. And if you can give them some game or something to play with when they are occupied waiting for their turn, it will be great. After that, you take them to the reception area, to the table, and that passage should be very clear, it should be broad. So imagine this as our city. The restaurant plan should be considered as the city plan, where you have the main road. After that, you have these arterial roads. You go inside. Next, there are lanes which are less wider. They are narrow. And that is the same planning which we should consider while we are designing a restaurant. So you have a widest path till you reach your reception area. Then the narrower path till the table of the customer. Now, with width of the passages, you can consider you should start from 6 feet, then 6 feet, 5 feet. You can reduce to 4 feet. The arterial corners or the table areas could have 3 feet of width. So that could be the general width of your piece. We start with the zoning actually. So this waiting area is done. You move to the reception area. Reception area should be in between, so the receptionist can see what is happening in each corner. He should have his own CCTV area where it can just check what is happening in the restaurant. He can check for the bills, who is coming, who is going. So that is the main task he is going to look at. After that, you should plan for a washroom, which is one of the important point when you are designing or planning your restaurant. This restaurant, the restrooms should be divided into male and female based upon the number of people. Number of seat of the restaurant comes after the restrooms to also be calculated based upon your pricing of the food, the variety of the food, the square feet area. So each person, if you want to calculate the number of seating, you should consider what is your target revenue which you are planning for per day or per month starting from, and that gives you the number of seat you might require to generate good wealth. For the restroom I was talking about, it should be spatial needed. It should be designed and developed for special need people. It should have one washroom for special need people. There shouldn't be step. It should have urinals, WCs, basins based upon the number of people, and not just randomly whatever the square feet you are remaining with. The most important point for the restaurant planning is going to be the kitchen. Kitchen should be around, I'll say, 30% of the floor area. Mostly, that is a general calculation which happens in restaurant. It's not hard and fast rule. Yeah, that is the general square feet you might need for developing your kitchen based upon the cuisine regularly. The kitchen should be developed in such a way, if we talk about south, the Vastu should be kept in south side of the area. All the services will be going from there. All the water, plumbing, water supply, the drainage will be happening from there. And it should be very neatly planned. Your drainage should have final oil balance tank where all the drained oil will be going. You can clean it so the water can be disposed to the normal drain point. Similarly, the water supply, you should have extra water tank, because in kitchen you'll have one mori which will be consuming a lot of water, and that water should be kept in loft so that emergency times you can use that water. In addition to that, there should be one RO area so that everything I'm talking about is wet area of the kitchen. Now if we move to the dry area, you should have one store room. All the groceries will go, the calculation, the weighing machine will be there, and the cooks will be taking the food from there based upon the entries they'll be doing while cooking. Kitchen should be totally rat proof. Should be totally concealed and packed. Not even single 1 inch should be kept open so that rat or pests, because that is going to be the enemy for you while you're planning. After that, in the kitchen you should have one central pathway with the drain point. Walls should have water supply, LPG pipeline, which will be supplying everything to the cooking counters. Now this kitchen should be planned in such a manner that it can serve the whole dining seating area. It should be the nearest, the exit point, entry point should be in such a manner that freshly cooked food will be going out from one door, be served to the table. The used plate will be coming from another door and it will be going to the mori or whether. So one example which I can tell you is Masemari. In Masemari, it was one restaurant in Pune, Bhavdan, we developed 2014. There we did a interesting zoning where you had a separate place for family and friends. Another was for couples, extra seating. There were levels to make space interesting, to give them a different feel, a different experience for the customers. Let's move to the next point, that is circulation. In circulation, main area, you are done with the zoning, what will happen where. Now you move into the depth of the planning. You start those pathways which you have planned. You should start putting serving counters where the cooked food will be coming. It will be kept first and then will be served to the table. This serving counter is very important because it will cover your dishes, extra dishes, fresh plates, napkins, salt, pepper, cold drinks, and lastly, which most of the people will miss, that is POS machine, the billing machine. So that system should be planned on those movement areas. The circulation which we planned in the zoning area should be developed in such a manner that your waiter would have to move less than moving every time here and there. Customers should not be clashing with the movement of waiters because that is going to be the difficult situation or functioning of the restaurant. After that, we move to the legal part, third part, that is for a restaurant planning, you should consider legalities. If you are into bar, then your licenses for the bar, it will ask for 100 square feet of area, 150 square feet of area for liquor. The excise department will ask you. FSSI will ask you for the cleanliness, the ventilation, lighting in your restaurant. The pest control should be done every month. So in that case, your storeroom should be planned in such a manner that raw material which you will be purchasing be easy to get inside, can be kept and can be supplied to the kitchen. So that movement is very necessary. Track your expenses. And your kitchen should be in such a manner developed so that people are not able to see it directly, what is happening in the kitchen, until you go for live kitchen. In Key Factory we opened the kitchen, dug the kitchen in such a manner that people were not able to see where the kitchen is. There was bar and behind that there was one wall, the textured wall, which was not visible and people are not able to understand how the people are coming. Servers are serving, the waiters are coming from. And that was one interesting character which was there. It was amazing to experience that feel when you are sitting on your table and you are waiting for your food, and it gives a surprising element to the overall experience. Now comes further detail, that is the planters, curtain for acoustics maybe, the textures, paneling, because that will be adding a dimension to your walls, to the spaces, to the corners. Decor you should plan artwork, sculptures possibly, the areas where the negative spaces are kept or the remaining areas after you are done with the zoning, the seating and the circulation, that these corners will elevate, it will add art or the overall ambience of the restaurant. And the last point which mostly the designers miss is the Vastu. which in India it's very important when you are designing a restaurant. So as I said, kitchen should be in south side, should be raised, waterproof, well. Based upon Vastu, we need to consider the basic point. South has to be heavier, the north has to be lighter. Add mirrors in the north, add water body in the north, add kitchen in the south, any service, bank, gas bank, it has to be in south. So the overall Vastu works that ways. And that is the last point which you should consider when you are planning for a restaurant. That is, your south has to be heavier, north has to be lighter, your kitchen should be in south. The main entrance should be towards north or east side. You'll get positive energy, light because sun quickly. And the last point is cashier. We should be looking towards north. I won't tell you what the reason is. You can tell me in the comments. We have been growing well in YouTube. People are subscribing in a lot of numbers. Thanks a lot. And we are posting our videos every week in such a manner that it will help you to understand the nuances of design, the details. It might help you to start observing things around. Thanks a lot. I'll be seeing you in the next week.